Hey everyone, welcome back to Nitro's Corner. We have a great video today in my new segment I like to call Simpin' for Senpai, where we're going to go into everything Aoi Todo from Jujutsu Kaisen. Black Flash me to hell, you impenetrable vixen. Boogie woogie clap my ribcage, you kindred spirit. Quick side note, so a lot of my friends and viewers are asking, where are you going with this simping Todo bit? Is it coming from a place of admiration, a place of violence, or deep desired sexuality? And they honestly just get kind of a dissatisfied answer when the answer inevitably is yes. Or my wife who asks, should I be worried? To only further that worry by getting an answer of, only if you want to be. Or Todo himself, who seems to be kind of a straightforward, to the punch kind of guy, who honestly at this time has grounds to forcibly make me stop. To that I say, do it. Grasp me with those oversized mandibles, you silverback gorilla. Clap me with those meat hooves, you tall drink of water. I mean, honestly, Todo is probably the coolest character in Jujutsu Kaisen. Maybe closely second is Gojo, but Todo, I mean, come on guys, he has everything that you need for this show. I mean, Boogie Woogie is one of the coolest abilities, and I think that's honestly what I want to talk about first in this video, because I think that kind of gives a good basis of Todo and his capabilities. So Boogie Woogie is Todo's innate curse technique, where by clapping his hands, he can switch with anything that has a certain degree of cursed energy. You know, whether this is a cursed technique user, a curse itself, or a cursed object or cursed tool. He can switch places with those by simply clapping his hands. Now, upon, initial glance of this ability, it may seem like it's nothing, too substantial, but when in the hands of a curse technique user that is clever, like Todo is, this can become a force to reckon with on the battlefield. And we see this first when he's using it against Hanami with Yuji. It's kind of like a tag team match there. Hanami, being a special grade curse, thinks that, he was way leaps and bounds above these other two. But with Boogie Woogie in the picture, it kind of evened out the playing field, because you can clap and switch places with people like Yuji, who have a close range curse technique, Black Flash, that he's using. And when you were kind of keep switching rapidly and Hanami doesn't know where it's coming, you can throw people off balance and hit them with these close range techniques that would otherwise have been really hard to land. You can also do things like we see in the Battle of Hanami, where he switches with Hanami himself, thus making Hanami be hit by his own cursed spikes that he's creating with his technique. So Boogie Woogie really adds a certain element of uncertainty to the battlefield. It doesn't necessarily have high offensive potential in the ability itself. It kind of needs to be paired with another, or with the cleverness of a user such as Todo. Now, Boogie Woogie, I think, is an ability that is best used when in tandem with another curse user, or another person with cursed energy tools, whatever, somebody that has offensive ability other than you. Because the best use, in my opinion, of Boogie Woogie is the rapid switching of people, because this disorients who you're attacking. They're not knowing where you're switching them to, or the potential of faking where you clap and you don't actually switch, like what happened with previous battles with Yuji. All this kind of uncertainty can mess with people's heads. Like, you're constantly thinking of, oh no, where am I going to switch? Should I worry about this side of me? Should I worry about above, below, to the side? I don't know where it's coming. Am I going to switch myself? Now, it may not seem like it's as good of a destructive ability such as like Gojo's abilities or Yuji's Black Flash or many people that we've seen so far, but it adds that element of uncertainty to which in a battlefield can be more beneficial than the destructive ability. Because when in the battle, it's not always just pure strength and aptitude, which we saw in the battle of Hanami versus Todo and Yuji. Hanami's strength is just so far superior to the other two, but he was new. This is one of his first real fights, so he didn't have the experience that Todo had. And that experience is what honestly gave Todo and Yuji kind of, an edge in this fight. Now, this isn't to knock destructive style abilities, because things like Gojo, I mean, where one attack can just kill something instantly, just delete. That, that speaks for itself. But I personally kind of like abilities that make you think more. It's more strategy rather than just brute strength. And that kind of makes me want to theorize what a Todo domain expansion might be, because we haven't seen it in this series yet. Maybe we'll never see it now that he's lost his arm and he's been kind of maimed. But what I think a Todo domain expansion could be, he's expanding his domain, right? So it's his cursed energy everywhere here. So now imagine that when he claps or when he switches, instead of having to switch with a cursed user, object, or a curse itself, he can switch to anywhere within his domain because that is his energy. So it's still technically switching with cursed energy and displacing that cursed energy, but he can now teleport anywhere within this domain. So say you're fighting somebody, you're now above them, you get a punch. You're on the side, below, on the other side, behind, in front. You can just rapidly switch and teleport to anywhere you want within this domain. Now, I think this would be a super, super cool ability, a super cool domain expansion. It would be a little OP, but at the same time, it wouldn't be like unbeatable because it would rely on his physical strength and his black flash to beat people, where he could still be fighting something like a Mahito or Sukuna where, you know, he can't just instantly overpower him. It would just kind of even the playing field at that point. I think it's kind of cool to have like that yellow flash style, you know, you teleport to anywhere within your domain. But I think the downfall of it, its domain would be a lot smaller to, you know, kind of have that amount of control within it. It would have to be a smaller radius, but I think that would be something really cool for them to add and kind of bring my boy Todo back, because he kind of got done dirty in this Mahito fight, unfortunately. I don't know what's going to be left for him in the rest of this series. Maybe somebody has some kind of cursed energy where they can create like an artificial limb, or they can heal it somehow. I don't know. So we haven't seen something like that yet. We haven't really seen what the capabilities are of these healing style curse technique uses, like the reverse curse techniques and whatnot. So we have seen body mortification with Mahito, who can kind of create limbs and expand limbs. So maybe somebody has something where they can create a new arm for him. That would be pretty cool. But that's what I think of Todo and what his capabilities and potential is. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and remember, Todo for life. Talk to you guys later.